Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Siti Najwa and I'm from TBI Class C, 4th semester. In this video, I will talk about poetry material as a middle pass of literature courses. So, let's get started. I take some reference from the article written by Eftisham Matalon entitled An Analysis of the Concept of Poetry Through the Theoretical Scheme, Journal of Poetry Therapy, 2020. Next, etymological poetry. The ancient Greek language and the Greek civilization are the cradle of poetry. It is a noun that derives from the verb poio, which means to make, to construct, to create, and to process. Connects a history of poetry. Poetry is found in Greek mythology through presence of muses. If you don't know about muses is the Muses in the ancient Greek religion and mythology as the inspirational goddesses of literature, science, and the arts. They were considered the sources of the knowledge embodied in the poetry, lyric songs, and myths that were related orally for centuries in ancient Greek culture. These were young women, daughters of god Zeus and Mnemosyne, that practiced and taught several types of arts and sciences. Poetry was one of the most popular arts. It was shared by 4 of the 9 muses. Different types of poetry was represented by them. Eloquent, epic poetry, lyric poetry, sacred poetry, and love poetry. And poetry became a subject of concern for ancient Greek philosophers, particularly Plato and Aristotle. Both discussed certain of its aspects, like its value compared of philosophy or not, its content, its definition, and its origins. Finally, the word poetry and its derivatives like poet, poetic, and poetics have been adopted by many languages which have their origin in Latin. It has to do with the Western word poetry, in which some changes have taken place in certain European countries and in the US. During the years 80 up to the present time, these are related to metrics, to the purpose of poetry, to the style of poetry, to the approaches to poetry, and to the schools of thoughts regarding poetry. Okay, next definition of poetry. Poetry consists of an oral or a written creation composed in the intentions of expressing personal feelings and emotions or of elaborating another subject by means of innumerable expressive means as neologism, an original vocabulary, matrix, rhyme, rhythm, and several figures of speech. The presence of one or more of the aforementioned elements is considered necessary so that the creation can be called a poem or work of linguistic art. When poems are recited and even when they are read silently, They allow us to follow an innate rhythm which is released by them. Poems have the advantage of containing some acoustic stimulation to which we react. It depends on the ability of the poet to find the right words and to look for their appropriate placement, to choose the adequate sequence of the verses and the best artistic presentation of the whole poem, so that the aesthetic success can be assured. Devised of the acoustic type, like different types of matters, rhyming, rhythm, alliteration, assonance, and consonance, are all important additions that contribute to the embellishment of the poetic text. The principal element behind them is rhythm. In psychological poetry, every poem uses the property of meaningfulness, that this property seems to resemble the inherent instructive quality, a knowledge and some information, but compared to it seems to be more loaded with symbolic and allegorical reflections. So that's all from me. Thank you for watching, and I'm so sorry for the mistake and shortcomings that I did in this discussion, and if it's not clear, I'm sorry about it. So yeah, thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.